Okay, welcome back. Let's get right into the stock market technical analysis. I'm going to go through the charts and show you guys what I'm seeing in the markets. We're looking for opportunities to trade. So if you guys are finding value in that content, then drop me a thumbs up. I do appreciate it. Okay, let's get right into it. Triple Qs. All right, that's going to be our tech sector. So here are my thoughts. The daily chart, we've got a couple things going on, but and I don't think we'll have any real resolution today, but on the daily chart, we had this trend line right here. So we had it previously right there. We took it out and we created kind of a secondary trend line right down here. You can see the lows from June 16th on this daily chart. As I zoom in, there's another reaction. Got to bounce off that reaction. So that's a valid reaction. And then we had a 1 or 2 day pause right there, got another reaction, and then we broke. Okay, so on the daily chart, this trend line has been broken. Okay, and that's it. It's a break of trend. Now, if I go down to the hourly chart, you can see though, in the shorter term time frame, we have bullish divergence that's been building now for a little while on the hourly chart. So see it right there, bullish divergence on the RSI and the PPO, although it's barely hanging on the PPO. So if I zoom in, you can see there it is. The PPO is still pointed down though. So if we go much lower, we're going to take out this divergence, and that's going to be very bearish. Because what that's going to mean is you had a bullish setup, especially on the hourly chart. It was a bullish setup and it just didn't play out. That's going to signal to me, if I see that we're likely kind of in a crash mode, a liquidation mode, and we're probably going to go a lot lower, down to our final targets on the daily chart, down to 238, 240. So if I start to see bullish divergences on the hourly get burned through, like they're not even there, just like the other day when we saw the really impulsive selling just crash right through some support levels, it's just telling you that, okay, we're gonna, this is gonna be kind of a crash price action where, we're gonna have a lot of the longs that never sold in the first move down back in June. They haven't sold through all this move down, and they got the bear market rally. They're gonna start to just exit and capitulate because the price action will be too bearish. Okay, so I'm looking for that. I don't know if we'll get it or not. Here's the hourly chart. I'm just really watching these divergences to see if they get burned through. On the RSI here, you can see we got a little more to go. But if we continue to sell off, we're going to burn through them. And the PPO is barely hanging on to that. So just something to watch. I'll definitely be focused on those divergences. Looking here at the NASDAQ futures, same kind of look as the triple Qs. You can see bullish divergences. I'm on the hourly chart here. Bullish divergences, kind of putting a bullish falling wedge pattern. And the divergences are there. So, we'll see if those get burned through or not. But that's something to watch for, and we need to see some more selling come in. But as of right now, it has a bullish setup on the hourly chart. And the daily, same kind of look there as triple Qs, where we recently broke this kind of secondary trend line that I had marked out right about there. And I don't trade the futures, but I do watch them. Okay, so we're below there. We've got bullish divergence on the hourly. Does that divergence play out to be a rally or not? Well, we'll have to wait and see. Flipping over to the SPY. Okay, SPY. So SPY broke trend today, actually yesterday really, but if I look at the daily chart, actually I think I might have moved this. You could probably mark it somewhere right in there, but clearly broke and took out this trend line today. See the support, we had support, and today gapping down. All right, so a gap down is impulsive, that's bearish. Just to see gap downs, it's trapping longs. If I look at the hourly chart here, we have bullish divergence. All right, so there it is, although it's not confirmed, and you can see the RSI is just pointed down, so we could continue lower and take it out. And then on the PPO, just barely hanging on to that divergence right there. So as I zoom out, you can see we're just barely hanging on, although it's pointed straight down. So you know, for me, it's really going to be whether these divergences get taken out or not. I start to see those get taken out, we're probably in for a lot, you know, a pretty swift move down. And, you know, again, SPY, if we continue lower, the target for SPY right now is about 339, I think. That's kind of your pre-COVID highs right there on the SPY. And yeah, I think that's, you know, where we're heading if we're going to see, you know, more selling. So that would be the target. The SPY futures here, same kind of thing. You know, we're taking out the support levels this morning. If I go to the hourly, we've got divergence. We've got bullish divergence right here. Kind of move it down. And that hasn't been negated. So, all right, IWM, small caps. So small caps, if you look at the daily chart, again, we took out the trend line. All right, the day's not over though. The one thing is on all these charts, we've taken out the trend line on the daily chart, but the day's not over. So if they rallied up to close the day above trend, then it's a false breakdown and a bear trap. And, you know, the chart tells me it has a good probability of doing that because the daily has the breaks of trend, but on the hourly, and on this one, if I go down, we've got bullish divergence on the hourly. Okay, so there's definitely a good possibility or probability that we do recover and rally and have kind of a false breakdown and maybe get a rally out of that. So that's what I see on the IWM. Okay, let's look at gold. So here's gold bullion, all right? And the key thing I'm watching here is, again, that 1680 level. So I've talked about that. Look at that. There it is, a support. Lots of reactions on this one. So very well-defined support level. And there's another one. And you can see yesterday, as I zoom in, we broke that level, all right? But that breakdown that we saw yesterday, what came with bullish divergence on the daily chart. So you'll see here that we have bullish divergence. So this is a divergent low, which means that this low has a high probability of being recovered and being a false breakdown, aka bear trap. And you can see there's the divergence on the PPO. So both RSI and PPO have divergence. If we go down to the hourly, you can see today they're rallying it up, but it's still below there. So, you know, does it get rejected here and maybe sell down some more, or does it recover? I don't know. We just have to wait and see. But if you see the recovery, it's going to signal that was a bear trap, and we should see a pretty impulsive rally in gold and the miners out of that. Hey, if you guys are new and you're interested in joining my private group, again, I go through additional market insights and throw out additional trade ideas in that group, along with a Saturday live stream where we go through any subscriber stock picks or member stock picks you want me to look at. I do some analysis and give you guys my thoughts. Join up, link in the description below, or there should be a join button if you're not on an Apple iPhone. There should be a join button that you can just click that to join up. It's very affordable, so join up if interested. And then guys, if you're interested in learning this as a skill set and you want to actually take some, you know, course education, check out my course, link in the description below. I break out all these concepts into, you know, kind of single concepts, and then I give you guys a checklist and really kind of try to put the concepts all together so that you can help set up your own trade ideas. Link in the description below on that one as well if you're interested. Okay, so that's gold, guys. GDX miners. The one thing that is interesting here is that we still have that bullish divergence. See it right there? I've got it kind of circled out, but we continue to make these slightly lower lows. So they're divergent lows though. So, you know, there's the bullish divergence. This one, you know, maybe we could redraw the trend line. Let me see what this one looks like here. If I draw this out, then yeah, I don't really like that, you know, but I don't know, it could be something like that, but I don't know. I had it right down here where we basically broke out and we've been back testing. So to me, it looks like the miners still look decent. All right. And so really what I'm waiting for on these miners, and you can see they're all up today. They sold down this morning and the buyer stepped right in and bid them up. So what I'm really waiting for on this one is to see that gold bullion recover that 1680 level. That's probably my buy signal. And then I'll just pick which ones I like. Newmont's interesting. You've got a downtrend line here. You've got clear bullish divergence on the daily. And you've got this kind of downtrend line to watch. So we look for a breakout or a buy signal above that downtrend line to give us the probability that we're going to start to trend up. So there's some interesting ones. I'm just not ready yet, but they're definitely set up. Okay, so individual trade ideas I've talked about. So XOM, you can see we had a sell signal yesterday. I pointed it out in the private member group, and more selling today. So looks like this one started a downtrend. What I like about it, well, you've got negative divergence. Really started to show up about right here. All right, so this was a divergent high. There, and there's another divergent high. We got this trend line to watch, and sure enough, starting to break down. So this is likely going to head down to the 200-day moving average, maybe even break that, but at least at a minimum to the 200. Okay, and I like that for a continued short. That's XOM, ExxonMobil. And again, if this one's moving lower, oil in general is moving lower, because this is one of the largest, if not the largest, oil stock. So I like that one. And then we've talked about LLY. Let's see. It's doing nothing, guys. Nothing, at least for the last few days. So 4 days, it's just chopping sideways. I still think we're heading lower. Again, I'm leaning on the fact that there's big negative divergence on the daily chart. And we had this bearish rising wedge pattern. We broke, back tested, and we're just kind of in the sideways chop right now. But again, I think it's going to resolve to the downside. 284 right now is my first target on that one. So sticking with that one for now. Okay, FSLR. So it looks like it's just doing some back testing. Again, this thing just broke trend. So here's the hourly trend that I have. You can see just kind of walking up the trend, very consistent. And it just started to break the trend yesterday. Today they're bidding it up, but this just looks like kind of the chop that you get sometimes when you break a trend. So I suspect that, it's going to fail, whether it does a back test and then rolls over. This to me just looks like the chop. The trend's been broken. So now it's more like a sell to rip kind of play, where as it rallies, it should rally into resistance. Whereas before, this was support. This should now act as resistance. So rally here and then fail is what I'm more looking for. Clear negative divergence on the hourly chart. And if we go to the daily, we have negative divergence on the daily as well. So this is going to probably come with a big gap down, but we'll see. I still think it's going to sell off here pretty soon. Okay, Starbucks. I think I've talked about this one, definitely in the private group. Yeah, we'll see. To me, I think it's still good. They kind of pumped this one. There was a lot of the president and things were coming out. They were doing a lot of kind of jawboning to try to pump this thing up. Negative divergence on the hourly. So this is a divergent high. You can see the negative divergence right there. And it's already starting to roll over. It's just a slow roll right now. But again, I think we continue to break. On the daily chart, also a negative divergence on the daily. All right, see it right there? There it is on the RSI, and there it is on the PPO. So these daily candles that spiked up here are divergent highs. They have a high probability of failing. So what do we need to see? Well, the 200, the 200 SMA at 88.50, 88.46, that needs to get taken out. Once you take that out, should be smooth sailing to the downside. I think we get there. I'm staying short on it. Tesla, again, Tesla's going to go the way of the triple Qs most likely, but it doesn't look like much is going on in Tesla. Negative divergence remains there on the daily. Again, I think we sell down in Tesla, I can't say whether that's going to happen today or in the next couple days. It could go a little higher, and I'm open to that. If you look at the daily here on Tesla, we have kind of recent highs right here. I have them marked out, and if we pop up and make a slightly new high, we would still keep that divergence. It would be a divergent high, which would tell me that whatever price action they do, if they try to run it up, would have a higher probability of being reversed and failed. And sold off. So I'm open to it going a little higher, but it's not going to shake me out of my short, is what I'm trying to say. So you know, position sizing is important. If you have too large of a position and you can't ride out any kind of little pop against your position, you're too heavy in that position. So lighten up is what I would suggest. All right, guys, that's all I have for right now. I'm scanning around looking for anything new, so I'm going to put those in the private membership first, and then I'll put them out in the general subscriber videos if anything looks interesting. So, guys, I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks. Bye.